A bunch of players up front for the Panthers trying to get one-on-ones across the board.
3rd and 2. Burrow under a little heat. Fits it into the tightest of windows. And Hayden Hurst spins it forward for a first down. First down for Cincinnati. Burrow looking to the sidelines. It's Higgins again.
Maybe a screen or some sort of run to the left.
2nd and 1, looking to Boyd on the sidelines, and Boyd with the catch. Sharp start for Burrow, 4 for 4 for 34 yards. He goes back to the air. The screen for MIXON. MIXON with a lane, and MIXON with some speed, stepping out of tackles. MIXON inside the 20, and MIXON all the way down near the 17-yard line.
But that's a great type of play for this fast flow defense. Catch him off guard.
Samaje Perine, first carry, and Perine popping. Thomas in motion, 2nd down and a yard. MIXON the carry, right up the gut. And MIXON down at the 2, 1st and goal, Bengals.
He's out of his weight class there.
Toss play MIXON on 1st and goal, and MIXON into the end zone for the touchdown. What a statement by Cincinnati on the opening drive as they march it in for 6.
Learn how to avoid beating yourself, and that's what this Carolina team is starting to do.
3rd and 8, Bengals rush 4. Walker under pressure, able to get away with a spin. Walker throwing to the sideline, and it goes right through the hands of Tommy Tremble.
I mean, that's your whole franchise right there.
2nd and 8, Burrow to the air. Grabbed by Higgins, first down. 5'8", went down to about 5'2" there. MIXON on 2nd down in a hole. MIXON steps through a tackle. Joe MIXON tripped up as he gets inside the 15 at the 13 by Shaq Thompson. 63 yards rushing already for Cincinnati. Very good sign. Taylor, his 2nd sweep. The cutback and down inside the 5. It's 2nd and goal. And Burrow on the sneak. Burrow into the end zone for a touchdown. There is a flag down on the field. I need to go back and see what Mark Sanchez wore on the walk into the stadium.
Yes, that's the guy who's in GQ magazine.
Yeah, exactly. MIXON up the sideline and out of bounds at the 40-yard line.
Maybe it's good that Jamar Chase is picking out his clothes.
Yeah, so much for turning down the stylist. Burrow looking to the sideline, finds his target, Trenton Irwin. Same play. And a touchdown for Joe MIXON. His 2nd rushing touchdown of the day. And it's 20-0 Cincinnati. Flag down, play action. Walker. And it's intercepted. Picked at the 45 by Jermaine Pratt. Takes it to the 40 before he's brought down. The flag down at the 25 as Pratt gets his first interception of the year. This one fast slipping away from the Panthers. Off the play fake, Burrow wanted to take a shot. He'll check it down to Boyd, and Tyler Boyd. On 1st down, they run it with MIXON. MIXON to the sideline and shoved out of bounds. Shaq Thompson saving a touchdown. Boyd in motion. The give to MIXON. Flag is down. MIXON motoring for his 3rd rushing touchdown.
Offside. Defense number 97.
From Bates and Bell.
2nd and 7. Walker, good protection. Floats it, and it's intercepted by Jesse Bates. Bates with the pick. Still on his feet. Bates going to work. And Bates finally down. Inside the 25. Tremble with the tackle. But Bates with his 2nd pick of the year, and the Bengals with a chance to add on before halftime. Off the play fake, Burrow in some trouble, and he's sacked by Brian Burns. 6th sack of the year for Burns.
Field goal team ready to roll. You got a Mayday field goal after this throw.
Burrow on the roll. Burrow looking. Burrow to the end zone. MIXON juggling catch for the touchdown. His 4th first half touchdown. 3 on the ground, 1 through the air. 34-0 Cincinnati. He had that little bobble again. Watch the bobble and the feet.
Did you see him break his route off and work scramble drill when he felt? Try and make some positive plays. Stack a couple completions. Stay within himself. He can't win it all in one play.
2nd down and 10. DJ Moore getting involved.
I don't care who's in there. Any of these pre-snap penalties have to end for this team to get him in a productive spot.
There's TERRACE Marshall. You have been looking for TERRACE Marshall.
1-yard line.
Mayfield protects it over the middle. Diving catch. Touchdown. Tommy Tremble. And the Panthers are on the board to start the 3rd quarter. Fine. You think we're 52nd in the league? That's fine. 2nd and 10 at the 35. Burrow. Boyd. And Boyd close to another.
There he is.
Play action. Burrow sets up to the sideline with Higgins, and T. Higgins ushered out.
Duplicating these big, heavy personnels that they're majoring in right now, protecting this lead.
Flag down, MIXON motoring around the edge. MIXON into the end zone. His 4th rushing touchdown of the day. But don't forget the flag.
Offside. Defense number 99.
That's 5 total touchdowns for Joe Mixon to take over for Joe Burrow as the Bengals are firmly in control. Joe Mixon in the backfield, and it'll be Mixon who gets the carry on 1st down, and Mixon. Allen to the sideline. Good adjustment made by Hayden Hurst for the 1st down. Mayfield. Pressure coming, checks it down to said halfback. That's BLACKSHEAR up the sidelines, and BLACKSHEAR across the 40. Benching 50 pounds is not easy. Mayfield looking down the sideline. Oh, catch ripped away by TERRACE Marshall, his 1st NFL touchdown.
And admitted that he doesn't have answers. That's huge too.
Pirine to the edge, got some blocks. Pirine down the sideline, lowering the boom on Sean Chandler for a 1st down.
Slam it up.
It's BLACKSHEAR into the end zone for a touchdown. RAHEEM BLACKSHEAR puts the Panthers on the board with 1:29 to play in the 4th. I wanted 2 backflips. 42-21 the final. We'll return to Cincinnati to wrap up today's game.